We're very, very excited to talk to our next guest. And all guests on the 95.7 The Game guest line appear on the River Islands guest line. Isn't it time for you to discover the islands, River Islands in Lathrop? He's come on the show many times. We find him to be a very interesting guest, especially when it comes to all things Brandon Aiyuk and the wide receiver situation with the 49ers. That's none other than TJ Houshmandzadeh. How are you, my friend? What's going on?
Man, I'm doing well, man. How y'all doing? I just finishing my workout, finished right on time, so we good to go, baby.
I love it, man.
Precision is impressive.
Yeah, we appreciate the hell out of you. Because we've talked to you about this before, I'm willing to bet you're not surprised that Brandon Aiyuk reported today. But can you share with our audience why, after all this talk, Brandon still chose to report today?
Well, for the most part, we're football players, and we love the game. We don't like it. We love it. And so it sucks when the business aspect of it comes to the forefront because every player wants to feel rewarded. Oh, we love you. Oh, you're a big part of the team. I see better than I hear. And so he won't show me. And that's all it is for him. And I knew he was going to report, but it's just, I'm sure, very frustrating. But the game of football is something that we love it, man. It's not a like, it's a love.
And it's a labor of love, and so now he has to go about the labor part, and the love comes later. And how does he go about, taking his ego and putting it aside, knowing that there's guys out there who are making twice as much as what he's going to make this season?
It's going to be hard. There's no other way to put it. It's going to be some good days, there's going to be some bad days. And that's about as honest as I can be with you. There's going to be some days where it won't be on his mind. There's going to be some days where you're going to see his body language. You're going to look at his face, and you automatically know. It's just he's thinking about it. And you feel like, I've done this. I led the team in targets. I led the team in yards. I believe he was third in touchdowns. Bro, just pay me. I mean, that's the player. You want to compare me to this player and that player, but when this player and that player signs a contract that you don't want to give me, that comparison is no longer valid. And so there'll be some good days. There'll be some bad days. I'm sure BA will try to be a professional as much as possible, but he's human.
So, TJ, as he arrives to camp, and we get word that at least there's a report, there haven't been substantive talks since May. Do you believe that Brandon is now of the mindset that this is not going to get done and I'm just going to play on the fifth-year option?
It's a possibility. I mean, if you're not going to give me a contract now, what will make you give me a contract later that I want? And, the teams say, oh, the salary cap, That's just an excuse that they stand behind. Every team has space to sign whomever they want if they structure the contract the way it should be structured. But they use the salary cap as an excuse. They can get it done. They just don't want to pay him what he's asking for. But what bothers you more than anything as a player is when another team seems to appreciate you more than the team you play for. And I say that because there's teams that are willing to give him what he wants. But your own team doesn't, and that's where the frustration kicks in.
Okay, but TJ, a little devil's advocate here, but let me ask you if you think this is fair. Yes, there are other teams willing to give it to him. Those teams might be in a different circumstance. In other words, so if the 49ers say, look, we're already paying one receiver north of $25 million, we've got to give our quarterback an extension. We've got high-priced players at every position, and we are offering you 26. Are you still saying it's not fair in that circumstances for the 49ers to make that claim?
Yeah, it isn't fair. I look at a team like the Eagles. Their quarterback gets big money. A.J. Brown gets big money. Devontae Smith is making good money. They have an offensive lineman and Lane Johnson making big money. So you can get it done. It's not as if you can't get it done. You can get it done. It's just a matter of, do you want to? Brock Purdy isn't making big money. Yeah, it's coming, but he isn't there yet. And so you can structure a contract the way you want to fall under the salary cap if you want to. But if he didn't play well meaning he wasn't an all-pro or Pro Bowler, things of this nature, he wouldn't be in a position to ask for this money. Every player, we always compare ourselves to this guy, this guy, this guy. So as soon as the guys that I compare myself to sign a deal, you're like, okay, I'm going to fall around. I don't have to beat it, but I'm going to fall somewhere in the vicinity. We're going to be in the same neighborhood. And when you're not in the same neighborhood, that's where you start to get frustrated.
And how does he go about playing this year and not having it become a distraction when you're not in that neighborhood and they're asking you to live maybe on the other side of town and you feel like you should be in that gated community? How do you go out and play and not have it affect you?
It's tough. There's no other way around it, man. It's not going to be easy, but the only way to prove that you're worth what you say you're worth and what you're proving is to prove it and do it again. And so there'll be some frustration, like I said earlier. There'll be some days where the coaches will read his body language, other players on the team, and they'll know, okay, we're going to leave BL alone today. He's not feeling it. But you want to go out there and ball so crazy to where you don't even leave a doubt that now y'all got to do this. And if I'm John Lynch and Shanahan and ownership, we got a chance to win it. And so I don't want this going on right now. We have a chance to win it. I got a friend that's a huge 49ers fan. Man, this dude was talking, man, why won't he just sign for this? Like, bro, your fandom is talking now. Like the businessman, and he's a businessman, has his own bit. I said, the businessman isn't talking. This is the fan of you talking of the 49ers now. And so there will be some bad days for BA, but ultimately you got to go ball, because if you don't ball, all this is for nothing.
TJ Houshmandzadeh is with us. You know the name. Receiving great. Has also worked a lot directly with Brandon Aiyuk through the years here on Willard and Dibs, 95.7 The Game. Okay, TJ, I want to ask you this, because listening to you talk, I know that he has formally requested a trade, but it also, I'm sort of betting, and it sounds like in his heart of hearts, his option one is still to stay and get paid. Do you do you agree with that? Is that your understanding?
Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't you want to stay? Team is going to be good for years to come. Shanahan is one of the best coaches in the league. Why wouldn't he want to stay? But I want to get paid also. I don't want to take a discount. The game of football, it seems like you're going to play it forever, but you're not. I mean, these owners are making billions. I just want enough money to where I can take care of my family for generations to come. And his play has warranted that. But 100%, he would prefer to stay with the 49ers over anyone else.
Do you think the process for him changed this offseason from back in February, where it seemed like, things were kind of rolling and then all those other contracts came in? Did his approach to what he was asking for change based on the market?
Bingo. Tic-tac-toe, 3 in a row, connect 4, whatever you want to say. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And this is where, when you know a player is a part of your future, I'm locking him up early. The Dallas Cowboys do a terrible job of this. You knew CeeDee Lamb was going to be in your team forever. Why haven't you signed him? Same thing with Dak Prescott before he signed his extension. Same thing now with Micah Parsons. Get out in front of it. The Eagles do a hell of a job with this. They get out in front of it. When you know a guy is a part of your future, approach him earlier, because you can get him at the number that you probably want. Now, it's like, I've proven myself. I'm an all-pro. Oh, all these guys have signed for this. I got to fall now in this neighborhood when they probably, I'm guessing, could have got him for 24, 23 last year.
That's interesting. TJ, how does the now presence of Ricky Pearsall complicate this year?
I felt like when Ricky was drafted, and Ricky can really play, man. I'm a fan of his. He can really play. I felt like when he was drafted, to me, I said, man, Debo or BA won't be there after this upcoming season. If I'm the Niners, I don't want to trade Debo or BA. I got a chance to win a Super Bowl. Why would I want to trade him this season? I want to make sure that Ricky is what we know he can be first. And so I've always felt that one or two of them would be gone if Ricky shows that he can play. I still believe that to be the case. Now we just don't know who that guy will be.
And I really want to ask you this, and I hope you're able to give an objective answer because I know you're tight with BA, but when you look at the way the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan structure that offense and the locker room presence that these guys are, who is more important to what the 49ers do, Debo or BA?
Well, if we point to last year, it's BA. If you point to previous seasons, 100% it's Debo. And so you can look at it two different ways and say it's both of them, because when the 49ers enter the field for every game, when they walk out of that tunnel, who's the first two guys that we see?
Debo and Trent.
Debo and Trent. The team looks up to them two dudes. And so to take one of those away will be a blow to the locker room. Now, somebody will step to the forefront and try to replace Debo if he's the guy that isn't there. But can you? You don't know. And so you're playing with chemistry and leadership when you do these types of things. But when you talk just on Debo had been the lead receiver, and now here comes BA leading the team in targets, leading the team in yards. From a specific receiver standpoint, it's one-on-one, it's cover one, it's third and 8. You're going to BA because he can beat press coverage with his quickness, with his route running ability. So from that perspective, strictly passing game, I need you to get open one-on-one versus the other team's top corner. You're going to BA.
That's a great breakdown as it pertains to the offense, but doesn't it also lead you to think that they drafted Pearsall more as a BA replacement as opposed to Debo based on what his skill set is?
Could quite possibly be that, but we don't know if Ricky can do that. I believe he can, but you got to go show me. And so, I see better than I hear. So if he shows that he can do it, now does it make the 49ers decision a little easier? Now, if it's reported, they said the Patriots offered him the 34th pick. That's an early second-round pick. That's technically a late first-round pick. They said no. Can they do better than that next season? Can you convince somebody to give you a first-round pick for BA and pay him that money when you had the 34th pick reportedly on the table? And so can Ricky do it? I believe he can, but he's going to have to get into the games and get into the league and understand how it works. Guys play well in college. They play well and they do well in practice. You get in the game, it's a completely different thing. And so you have to wait to see. But yes, Ricky is closer to BA than he is to Debo, but maybe Ricky may have some layers to his game that we haven't seen yet.
So, TJ, take me inside the 49er wide receiver room this year and project this for me, because this feels like a lot of anxiety, the potential for jealousy. You want to see what Ricky can do, but also get Brandon his targets. Debo is still a team leader. How do they all navigate this?
That's going to be interesting. You just don't know. Ricky has a hamstring problem, and that's when you're Ricky. And this is why the guys that I train, we have specifically stuff that we work on prior to camp, after the draft, because you take all these visits. You're not really working out as much as you used to, as you should be, because you're taking visits, you're doing this, you're doing that. And so it's common that the rookies will have hamstring injuries. So Ricky has a hamstring. That may linger. It may not. And so from that perspective, how much would you get out of Ricky? How will the offense? I would assume Brock Purdy is going to be better. If he's better, he's going to navigate the unhappiness that he may see. Shanahan will manage it. Like I said, BA's going to have some good days. He's going to have some bad days. But ultimately, when you love the game, for the most part, we here to play football, and that bad body language, it'll be far and few between.
He loves the game, but do you love the system when you run a lot of 21 personnel and it's just two receivers? And if you're Brandon Aiyuk, you're going to get a lot more attention in the routes than you would if you were on a 3 wide receiver team. Is that partly what leads into BA maybe showing some frustration this year, the system?
No, everybody, listen, man. I don't care who you are, who led the league in targets? Was it CeeDee Lamb?
I believe he did. Yeah,
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb.
Unless he wants the ball, wants more targets. So if you target me 10 times a game, man, I wish I could have had 12. Target me 14, man, I wish I'd have had 15, 16. I mean, that's what competitors do, man. What Shanahan has done in his offense is it's so multidimensional. We can hit you with McCaffrey. We can get you with Kittle. We can get you with Debo. We can get you with BA. We even throw Juwan Jennings in there sometimes. And so when you have to account for everybody, that's what makes them so good is you can't key on one person. And so we all want more targets and we want the ball more. But ultimately, when you're winning, you don't care. BA's going to get his targets because he's good. BA's going to get his catches and touchdowns because he's good and he's going to get open. Are we all going to want the ball more? Yeah. But he's going to be fine. It's just the contract part of it is just frustrating.
Yeah. Hey, TJ, what is your perspective on what the whole team is facing this year based on last year's disappointment at the end and now having to rebuild the whole thing again from scratch? How big of a challenge is that?
You would think the 49ers are pretty much – they've been at the top of the NFC for years. This would seem like this is the make-or-break year. The Detroit Lions are coming. They're coming fast. Green Bay Packers are coming, and they're coming fast. Pause. There's a lot of teams in the NFC that are going to be better. And the 49ers are going to be – everybody's chasing them. And so when you've been to the Super Bowl and you've been at the top, you're going to get every team's best game every Sunday. And so you can't slip up. You can't be lackadaisical. You can't approach it like, oh, we're playing this team. The Bears are going to be – there's just so many teams in the NFC that are going to be better that they need to find a way to get over the hump. The 49ers, you could almost say on paper, do they have the best roster in the National Football League player for player on both sides of the ball? And so for them, they need to do it now because these other teams that are younger, they nipping at them. They looking at them and saying, here we come. It's the 4x4 and the 49ers in the league and that anchor leg that they coming to get them.
TJ, it's so good to have your perspective. Best. By the way, before you go, are you watching this Receivers doc on Netflix?
I'm done. Finished it. Yes,
you watched it all. All right. What were your big takeaways?
Kittle really is just, he seems like a great teammate. He seems like he'd be somebody I want to play with, always positive. Just the way he is and the way he was on that show, I found that to be refreshing. I like him. I don't know Kittle. I don't believe I've ever met him, actually. Talked to Debo a few times. Debo was banged up a lot. Toughed it out. He was banged up a lot. But yeah. I like those type of shows. Like, I'd watch those every day if they were on. Like, that's the type of stuff I like. I don't watch anything but sports. And so unless my wife forces me to watch one of her shows. Yeah. Outside of that, that's all I'm watching.
Real Housewives and fill in the blank, no doubt, TJ.
This is off Niners, but what was your vibe on Davante Adams? Because I've heard a lot of people like, wow, what a great player, what a leader, and a lot of other people are like, geez, he made the whole thing about himself.
Yeah, it's kind of tough, man. Davante was just frustrated, man. It's frustration. I go from Aaron Rodgers to Derek Carr to now this. That's all. I mean, it's frustrating. I'm used to when I'm open, it's a catch. Now when I'm open, I hope I just get the ball thrown my way. And so it's frustrating for him. And I'm sure he didn't want to make it be about himself, but it comes off that way. I don't play for wins or losses. I play for greatness. That comes off as being a bit self-centered and selfish. But it's a stigma about receivers that we're this and we're that. I just believe when you come from such a winning organization with a great quarterback and then you go to Aiden O'Connell, who was a rookie, and Jimmy G, it was just pure frustration.
Did you have an alter ego like Justin Jefferson, or were you just TJ on and off the field?
I don't know, man. Like, I think I'm a cool dude. I really do. Like,
you are.
I think I'm a cool dude, but I know during the game I act crazy and people be like, bro, what is wrong with you? So I don't know. Like, I don't know what it is. I just don't care. Like, I'm willing to hurt myself to hurt you if you piss me off during the game, but I don't know, man. I think I'm a cool dude, but I know when the game starts, I can be a little bit out of control.
Fair enough.
I want to let you go, but you keep saying things that spur other thoughts.
Man.
Like, TJ, when you said I go from Aaron Rodgers to Derek Carr to this is also known as Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, why did Jimmy look like that with the Raiders, but like he was able to do what he did here? What's your take on that?
Come on, man. You know, you really want me to tell you?
I want you to say it because when I say it, people get mad at me here.
Shanahan.
Thank you.
I'm telling you. Wait. How long have I been telling you this?
Years.
Long time.
Now, Shanahan isn't perfect. I swear when Mahomes threw that interception, if you run the ball, y'all win the Super Bowl. Just run the ball, you win it.
Yep.
He isn't perfect, but he is way better than most. I'm telling you, go divorce your wife, and then you're going to get to the other side of that fence and realize you want her back, and she done moved on. Fire Shanahan if you want to and watch what happens.
Yeah, 31 teams would be calling him, I'm sure, TJ.
Joke. No joke.
And whoever they hire is not going to be as good.
You're the best, buddy. Thank you.
All right, y'all take care, fellas. Appreciate it.
TJ.
Right, TJ Houshmandzadeh.
Just every time we have him on,
It gets better.
It gets better.